Joining me in that nice tall standing position. Bring a little bend to your knees, maybe shake it out a little bit, planting the feet firmly into the floor and using that connection into the floor, into your yoga mat, whatever you have beneath you, to sort of springboard the rest of your body up. You're lifting through the thighs, lifting through the hips, lifting through the shoulders, almost like there's an imaginary string coming from the top of your head and pulling you to stand just a little bit taller here. Keep that length through the spine as you relax your shoulders down, lengthening through the sides of your neck here, standing nice and tall, maybe close down your eyes. And just start to bring your awareness to your breath, taking a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. You can take a few more deep breaths here at your own pace. And as we start to settle into this standing posture, I invite you to join me in setting an intention for not only this practice, but for the remainder of our Summer of Sweat challenge together. And the intention I'd like to offer you is something that I refer to when I'm teaching as the 3 Ps. So the first P is presence. Really being present here in your practice, on your mat, being present in the activities that you're doing through the remainder of the challenge, and letting go of anything that's not serving you while you are engaging in these activities. Really allowing yourself to be present with your mind and your body. So we'll take one breath here together to seal the intention of presence. Big inhale through the nose, and exhale, let it go. Breathing naturally now. The second P that informs our intention for today is patience. And again, this is something that you may come back to throughout your practice today. If you find, maybe you're a little wobbly in your standing balance, or maybe you're not feeling as flexible on one side as the other. And so I encourage you in those moments to return to this idea of patience and to come back to that throughout Summer of Sweat as well. Not necessarily working toward, this is the right or wrong way of doing something, but instead enjoying the process and being patient with your mind and your body as you work toward your goals. Let's take a nice big inhale through the nose for patience. And exhale, let it go. Breathing naturally now. Our third and final intention, the last P of the 3 Ps, is play. So I invite you in today's practice and throughout Summer of Sweat to find some playfulness in your movement. Really listen in for things that feel good for your body, things that you genuinely enjoy doing. And when you find those things, lean into them and do them more. That's going to help you to find some enjoyment through this process that we're taking together, and to just find that playfulness, that lightheartedness in your practice and beyond. So feeling that final intention of play with a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Gently open your eyes if they have been closed. Shake the body out a little bit, get some wiggles out. Make your way to the top of your mat if you're not there already, and reset your feet in your mountain pose, Tadasana. On your next inhale, reach the arms out wide and then send the fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, soften your knees and start to fold forward. Moving nice and slowly here, let the weight of the head come all the way down. Bend as much into the knees as you need to let the weight of the head comfortably fall toward the floor. And you might even grab for opposite elbows here in a little ragdoll pose, swaying from side to side. Maybe bending a little more into one knee and then the other, taking some free movement. Bring the upper body back to center, releasing the grip with your hands if you have it. Bend deeply into your knees and roll one vertebra at a time, all the way up to stand, nice and slow. Head comes up last. Roll the shoulders back and down at the top stand tall. On your inhale, we reach back up toward the sky once again. Exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. And this time on the inhale, we'll find a halfway lift with the spine, dragging your palms up to your shins, keeping, again, a gentle bend in the knees here. And we'll stay for a few breaths this first time through. So settle into this posture, this halfway lift. See if you can send your tailbone toward the back edge of your mat as you send the top of your head toward the front edge of your mat. So you have a really long spine, core is engaged. Take one more inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, roll the spine all the way back down to forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, reach the arms up as you lift. And on your exhale, pull the hands to heart center now, bowing your head toward your hands. We'll take that little half flow one more time, one breath per movement here. Inhale to reach up high. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward. Inhale for your halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale, release to your forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, take up space, reach out and up. And on your exhale, pull the hands to heart center. Beautiful. We add on this time. Inhale to reach up high. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale for your halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. This time, bending your knees so you can take your hands down to the ground in front of you. Step your feet back into your plank pose of choice. Now you have options here. You can always take the knees down to modify, really working on your core strength. If you want to keep it up a notch, you keep the knees lifted and send your heels toward the back edge of your space. Wherever you are, whichever variation, tuck your tailbone under, hug the belly button up and in. Press down into the floor with all 10 fingers. Really use your hands here. Find that long spine. Breathe. One more full breath. On your inhale, place your knees down on the floor if they're not there already. Exhale, chest and chin follow, coming all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes at the bottom. Now see if you can press the tops of your feet down into the floor. And as you do that, you might feel your kneecaps start to lift up off of the ground as you engage your quads. Now keep the lower body working, just like that. Press the tops of the feet down as you pull your chest forward and up, little back bend here, baby cobra. And then exhale, release all the way back down. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, pull the chest forward and up. Exhale to release. Elbows straight back behind you. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release it down. Nice work. From here, we'll send the hips up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. So you tuck your toes under, lift your hips up toward the sky, and start to take some free movement in down dog. So you can pedal the feet, maybe shake the head out a few times. Anything that feels good here as you warm into this triangle shape in the body. This is a great time to return to our intention of playfulness. Be playful with your movement here. Maybe take something that you haven't done before in your down dog and just really listen into the body. Notice points of tension that you're feeling. Use your breath to start to relieve that tension. Free flowing movement here. Now, at any time in today's practice, if down dog is feeling a little too heavy on the wrists, you're always welcome to take a child's pose. So that pose, for anyone who's not familiar, is knees down wide and toes together behind you, sitting your hips back toward your heels and reaching your fingertips out in front of you, child's pose. You're welcome to take this as an alternative to down dog or at any time in the practice when you just need a moment to reset. Maybe you want to reconnect to that intention of being present with your mind and your body. This is a great place to be. Otherwise, when you're ready to move on, we'll go back to our down dog if you're not there. And then take a nice big inhale, bringing your gaze between your hands. Exhale, slow step toward the top of your mat, bending your knees so that you can return to your forward fold position. Weight of the head hangs down. On your next inhale, lengthen through the spine as you come all the way up to stand. Reach the arms up at the top. Exhale, pull the hands to heart center, stand tall. Good. We'll take that same flow, moving a little bit faster this time, starting to build some heat in the body. On your inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. Inhale for your halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, find your plank pose of choice. Knees can be down or lifted. Take a big inhale at the top of your plank, strong core. Exhale, hug the elbows in as you lower down to the belly, chaturanga. Inhale for your cobra pose, lift the chest and shoulders. And then exhale, find your downward facing dog or child's pose if you prefer. When you get there, take a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Really let it go. Inhale, take the gaze between the hands. Exhale, find your forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale for your halfway lift, long spine. And exhale, release to forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to stand. Reach up tall with the fingertips at the top. And on your exhale, pull the hands to heart center, stand tall. Nice work. One final round here. Inhale to reach up high. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale, find your plank pose. Inhale at the top of the plank, hug the belly button in. Exhale, lower down to the belly, chaturanga. Inhale for your cobra pose, maybe upward facing dog with the hips lifted and straight arms if you're ready. And on the exhale, we come right back to downward facing dog, or again, child's pose as you prefer. Take a nice cleansing breath wherever you end up, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands. Exhale, find your forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, roll down to forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, sweep the arms up at the top. And exhale, pull the hands to heart center. Great work, everyone. Arms can come down by the side, shake it out a little bit, grab a sip of water if you'd like. And we'll start to build a little flow here together, again, starting in our mountain pose. You can meet me back in a standing posture when you're ready. Take your time. And we'll meet standing tall, a little micro bend in the knees, each joint stacking on the one beneath it to help you stand with a nice long spine, tall posture. When you're ready, we meet with an inhale, reaching the arms up high. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward, let the weight of the head come all the way down. On the inhale, we'll lift the spine halfway, find your flat back. And this time, as we exhale, fold forward and stay right here. Right foot is going to stay where it is, and left foot is going to step back to a lunge position. So hands are down on the mat in front of you for balance. Take a nice wide stance here and place the feet hip distance apart. So we want the feet to be on like railroad tracks, not on a tightrope, if that makes sense. So feet are wide enough that they're about the distance of your hips apart. Now, coming up onto the fingertips to get some height here. On your inhale, pull your collarbone forward, really bend into your front knee. And then on your exhale, lift your hips, start to lengthen your front leg, and little by little send your forehead down toward your right shin. Let's take that motion again. As we inhale, bend the front knee, pull the chest forward. Exhale to lift the hips and lengthen. And we'll take a few more rounds just like that, moving at your own pace now, using your breath to inform your movement, and being patient with the low body muscles. Connect to that second intention here. Don't force the body into anything that's uncomfortable, but just start to bring some movement into those lower body muscles. The next time that you come forward into your lunge position, go ahead and stay there. Finding that deep bend in the front knee, we'll now step our back heel in just a bit so that we can plant the back foot down at a 45-degree angle. So let's imagine that the right toes are pointing toward 12 o'clock on a clock. I want your left toes to be pointing toward like 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock, so just slightly out toward that left side. Bend into your right knee and send the upper body forward and up, lifting into your warrior one position. So we have our back foot again at 45 degrees, right toes are facing forward. See if you can keep your hips square toward the front of the room. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. Squeeze your left glute, maybe even give it a little poke, wake it up. Start to press your left leg towards straight as you keep a bend in your right knee. Good. Arms are up overhead. If you don't have them there already, relax the shoulders, fingertips reaching towards the sky. Warrior one. Good. Now from here, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and then inhale to puff up your chest, shine your collarbone up. On your exhale, take your right shoulder down toward your right knee. We're coming into humble warrior pose. So let the weight of your head start to release down toward the floor. And if it's comfortable, you can lift your hands up off of your back, coming into a shoulder stretch as you extend your arms out overhead. Now, if that doesn't feel good for any reason, you can just rest your thumbs on the low back. That's totally fine. Do try to keep your hips square here. So pull the right hip back and the left hip forward. Relax the weight of your head. Use your breath. Good. Staying strong through your front leg. Start to bring your hands back down toward your hips. Release the interlace. Send the chest forward and up. Come back to your warrior one. Strong right leg. Woo-hoo. And then we're going to open the hips to the long edge of the mat, coming into our warrior two. When you get there, lengthen both legs, a little relief for that right side. Check and make sure that your right heel is aligned with the center of your back foot, so you have a nice straight line from heel to mid-arch there. On your next inhale, lengthen your legs and reach the arms up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bend into your right knee, send your arms out by your side. Inhale to reach up high, moving warrior here. And then exhale, bend warrior two. And we'll take that again a few more times at your own pace. Opportunity to connect your breath with your movement here. Noticing how the body is feeling as you move between these two postures. Being present with your practice. The next time that you come up to your lengthened position, both legs long and both arms up overhead, go ahead and stay there, breathing naturally. Take your left arm down to your left thigh, and then start to reach your right arm up and over, coming into a reverse triangle pose, nice side body stretch. Really press down through your right big toe, and feel the length travel all the way up the right leg and through the right side body. Reach the right fingertips up and over. Take one more big inhale. On the exhale, we come through our warrior two and then keep the hands moving down to the floor. Turn on your back heel. We meet in a lunge. So now we're in a lunge position. That right leg is in front. Back heel is lifted. Great work, everybody. Hands plant on either side of the front foot. We're going to engage the core, take a big step back to your plank pose. Can you make your right foot even with your left? Take a big inhale, strong core, and exhale, lower down to your belly, chaturanga. Inhale for your up dog or cobra pose, little back bend here. And exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. Nice work, big inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, let it go. Inhale, take the gaze between the hands. Exhale, find your forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale for your halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to release, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, reach the arms out and up as you lift. Exhale, pull the hands to heart center. Opportunity to shake it out a little bit here. We're switching sides now, moving our focus to the left. You can stay at whatever your top of the mat is. I'm just turning this way so I can keep staring at you over there. And when you're ready, we meet back in our Tadasana mountain pose. Again, taking that extra moment to really find your posture, settle in to your Tadasana. When you're ready, we start with a nice big inhale to reach the arms up high. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward, the weight of the head comes down. Inhale, find your halfway lift here. Exhale, fold forward once again, keep the left foot where it is this time, and step your right leg all the way back to a lunge. Come up to your fingertips so that you have enough space to really move. And on the inhale, we're pulling the collarbone forward, bending into that front knee. On the exhale, start to lift the hips, lengthen through the front leg. The weight of the head comes down toward the front knee. Inhale, pull the chest forward. And on your exhale, lift the hips and lengthen. And we'll take this moving lunge a few more times here at your own pace. Allowing yourself the same patience on this side and with these muscles as you did on the first side. Take one more full round here. Use your breath. And then the next time you come forward into your lunge position, go ahead and stay there. We're going to take our back heel down at that 45-degree angle, stepping it in a bit here as we build our warrior one. And when you're ready, we'll lift all the way up to stand, sending the fingertips up toward the sky. All right, so we'll make the same micro adjustments here on this second side, really finding our strong warrior one posture. So the left toes are pointing straight forward, 12 o'clock, while your right toes now are pointing toward maybe 1 or 2 o'clock on our imaginary clock there on the floor. We want to bend into the left knee as we start to press the right leg towards straight. So really press in to the outer edge of your right foot here. We're trying to square the hips towards the top of the mat or top of your space as best you can. Maybe give that right glute a little hello poke. Make sure it's nice and active here. Strong right leg. Shoulders are stacked right over the hips. Core is hugging in and up here. Long spine. Reach the fingertips toward the sky with energy. Good. Legs stay where they are as we bring the hands behind the back. Maybe find your awkward interlace this time with the pinky on the outside that feels a little bit weird. And then on your inhale, drop the hands down, lift the shoulders up. There we go. And on your exhale, start to bring your left shoulder down toward your left knee, coming into humble warrior. So legs are still in that warrior one position as the upper body hangs down. Really let go with the weight of your head as best you can. And you have the option to lift the hands up off of the back, getting that nice stretch through the shoulder if that feels accessible for you today. Beautiful. Start to lower your hands back down toward the back if they are lifted. With a sweeping motion, we come all the way back up to our warrior one. Don't give up on that left leg yet. We open the hips into our warrior two, and then finally start to lengthen through the left leg here. Give that leg a break. Align your left heel now with the middle of your back foot so that right arch and left heel are in a line. And then when you're ready, we inhale, lengthen the legs, send the arms up. Exhale, bend into your warrior two. Left knee bends, arms come to a T. And we'll flow with this a few times here, moving warrior, alternating between that extended position and your nice strong warrior two. Be present with your body and your breath here as you move. The next time that you come into your lifted position with the legs long, go ahead and stay there. Start to bring your right hand down toward your right outer thigh, and we take our side body stretch, leaning up and over with the left arm. Press down through the left big toe, feel the left leg engage, lengthen all the way up the left side of the body here, continue breathing. Take one more inhale to lengthen and expand. On the exhale, we come back through warrior two and then continue that motion with the hands, taking them down on either side of our front foot. Turn on the back heel. The next place we're going is our plank pose. So we want to plant the hands firmly, strong core as we step the left foot back to meet the right in plank. Move through your vinyasa and we meet in our downward facing dog or child's pose. Nice work, everyone. All right, the flowy stuff is done, and we're going to start to ground a little bit more to the mat here, using that heat we've generated again, and just some deep stretching. So from your downward facing dog, let's come into a seated position on the mat. And turn so that your feet are toward the top of your space, whatever that may be for you. Feet are planted and knees are bent in front of you here. Use your hands in front of your knees to help pull your chest forward. Find a nice tall spine. And then see if you can keep that length in the spine as you reach your arms straight out in front of you. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, rock back on the tailbone, roll one vertebra at a time as slowly as you can, all the way down to your back. Squeeze the belly button in toward the spine. Squeeze, 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 control. And as the shoulder blades finally touch down to the floor, go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. Hands can come to the kneecaps here and take a little rock from side to side, massaging the low back into the ground beneath you, taking some free movement here. Drawing your knees back to center, plant your feet down on the mat with the heels pretty close to your glutes here. And then bring your arms down on either side of your hips, and we'll take a moving bridge, starting to open through the front side of the body. So take a nice inhale here to prepare. On your exhale, press the heels down, roll the hips up toward the sky, bridge pose. On your inhale, take the tailbone down to a hover, but don't let it fully release, so that on the exhale, you can lift right back up to your bridge, sending your hips towards the sky. And we'll take a few more rounds just like that, kind of dual purpose here, building strength through the back side of the legs as we open through the front of the hips. Continue that connection, that presence with your breath. The next time that you lift up into your bridge pose, go ahead and stay there, finding a static hold. Option here to shimmy your shoulders underneath you a bit. Maybe you can take that inner lace behind your back with the hands once more, allowing you to puff up through the chest a bit and find a nice deep opening through the front side of the body. Wherever you are, try to keep the thighs parallel to one another here. Don't let the knees fall out toward the corner. Squeeze your glutes. Breathe. If the hands are bound, gently release them and we slowly roll the hips all the way back down onto the floor. Once the tailbone touches down, knees can hug back into the chest, and again, we take that little rock from side to side. Taking one more posture here together before we move into our final resting pose. Let's continue opening through the hips with our happy baby. So use your hands to start to drag your knees kind of toward your armpits. So you're pulling the inner thighs apart and your knees are lifting up and in toward the body. And then you can either take your hands behind your knees, or maybe you grab for the outer edges of your feet with your elbows on the insides of your knees. Wherever you end up, this is a great opportunity to lean into that playfulness aspect of our intention for our practice. So if you've ever seen a happy baby before, which hopefully many of us have, they are not sitting still. They are moving freely and they love to play with their feet. And so that is where the name for this pose actually comes from, happy baby pose, is we're grabbing onto our feet and playing with them, the perfect opportunity to focus on that playfulness aspect. So take some free movement here, maybe rock from side to side a bit, or extend one leg and then the other. And maybe even close down your eyes so that you can really focus in on the sensation in the body without worrying about how it looks. Beginning to even out your sides with any one-sided movements that you've taken. Getting any final wiggles out of the body here. And then when you're ready, we'll start to hug the knees back together towards the chest, giving them one more nice big squeeze. Slowly release your feet back down onto the mat, and then bring the soles of your feet together, allowing the knees to fall out wide for a butterfly position in the legs. Hands can rest atop your belly if that feels comfortable, or down by your sides with the palms turned up towards the sky. And wherever you choose to be, close down your eyes here for a final moment of stillness as we prepare to close our practice. Taking a few breaths to go through each of our intentions one more time. The 3 Ps, present, patient, and play. And taking those intentions that have guided our practice here together on the mat, using them to set an intention for the remainder of your Summer of Sweat journey, whatever that may look like for you. Take one more nice deep breath where you are. And then slowly start to bring the knees back together in the center. Using your hands wherever you need them to make your way back up to a seated position on your mat. No rush to get there. And as we make our way back to a nice tall seat, we'll prepare to finish our class together today with one final breath. So on your inhale, reach out and up, taking the energy from our virtual space. And on your exhale, hug that energy into your heart so that you can take it with you into the rest of your day, your week, your month, your life. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and thank you, Walter, of course, for organizing our Summer Sweat activities. I'm so excited to get to see all of you virtually or in person over the coming weeks. Thank you very much.